What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Community Casters Corner. Is that what we're calling this?
Community.
The name's in the works. We got Gus. Well, I don't know where he's at. There's no use to me pointing because it's not on mine. But we got Chris, MrLastHill himself. We got Vion. We got Kevin. Or Nevec, whatever you want to call him. I'm Face909. Welcome to another round of Pin the Tail on a Donkey. If you know what I'm saying. We're talking about virtual gaming devices and the future of them in general. Who wants to start? What are we going to talk about first? The Vive? You guys want to talk about the Vive?
No, let's.
Nobody knows what the Vive is, so you might as well just.
That's what I'm saying. Let's talk about it.
What do you want to know about it? The Vive is the HTC's VR machine. They're teaming up with Valve to put this out on Steam. Well, Steam and Valve to put this out. You still don't have much information on it. Nobody knows really what it is. You got barely anything on it. All you can say is you're possibly going to have a lot of Steam's library on it. Maybe. You don't know yet. You don't know who's going to support it from Steam. You know, it's the dark horse. We don't know anything, so...
And from what GameSpot says, it is releasing this year. For holiday.
Later this year?
Yep, holiday this year.
It's going to be so horrible. Calling it right now.
I won't say it's going to be horrible. I will say there's potential because Steam is such a big thing. They even come out with the Steam machines, and those are supposed to come out soon as well. And they got their controllers and all that kind of stuff. The touchpad control. I think it's still stupid. Anyway, I think the Vive has, like I said, a lot of potential. But there's going to be some kind of gimmick behind it that screws it up. Like with Steam. You have to be connected to the internet. You got to have touchpad thumbsticks. You know, there's going to be something there that ruins it for me. I wonder if it's going to be a standalone, or if there's going to be some kind of camera you have to have set up along with it, or if it's going to be like any of the other kind of devices where it's just boom, that's it.
Like on your head, if there's like a camera or something you get attached to it, it's already lost.
Yeah. It might come with the actual system. You never know. I mean, have they even... If they put a release date or maybe the similar date, they might just put it with it, made a maybe bundle pack with it or something.
That I think will fail, just because the Steam machines are not looked forward to a lot right now.
No.
Because a lot of people know that Steam they got a lot of crap. Like there's a lot of joke stuff on there that's like, Valve, you need to kind of watch your stuff really bad. What do you think, V?
I think the Steam machine is going to be is a good place right now.
First off, when I heard HTC was going to come out with a virtual thing, I was two things. Half of me, I'm concerned because it's like we all know how cell phone companies and carriers want to get into video games. I mean, look at what happened to the PSP Go. They try to make that kind of cell phone-ish, and that kind of flopped. And then on the other hand. Exactly. Yeah. Right. On the other hand, look to the markets outside of the U.S., especially like the Far East markets. Like their mobile gaming is strong, so they might be confident somewhere for some reason. But honestly, if you don't have a big name backing, you better bring something extremely unique to the table. And because we don't know so many details, that's going to make it that much harder on choosing. Say if one of the other, like the Morpheus came out over this guy, people are more inclined to possibly go for the Morpheus because we just need more information. Aside from holidays, if it's being announced and released so quick, it better have a good backstory about how long it took to make, what you can do, because you'll find out later in the show, for those watching, that there's other competitors who they're on their A game with this. So it's a leap of faith. So good luck, HTC.
That is true. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, just because like the Oculus Rift, it's already out. It's been out for a long time, but I'm not a fan of. I don't know, because I've used the Oculus Rift.
Mm-hmm.
Since the screen is so close to your face, you can see every pixel a lot clearer. So it can still be 1080p, but it'll look very pixelated in front of you because you're so. It's like when you're up close to a TV, you can see each individual pixel. That's not different just because it's in a VR machine like this. I want to see a good quality virtual reality headset that's only a headset, standalone, where I can move around or something, not be plugged into something. But I don't think that's possible right now. I think the virtual stuff is ahead of its time, but it's definitely opening up new doors. And I think the Vive being owned or being since HTC, it could be one of those things. I can see it very popular in Japan. Why? Because they're not scared to go and plug their phone into this big goggle headset thing and start walking around Tokyo
Yep.
like, "Oh, konnichiwa, son!
Oh
Look at
my
my
gosh.
glasses!"
I see so many
And
accidents
they can
happening
be
right
seeing
there.
cats and
Yeah.
stuff, giant cats walk on top of buildings. That's gonna happen.
So many people die. So many deaths. Because if that actually happens, so many people dying. Because people will actually do that. They will stick their phone and walk around. Oh, that'll be so horrible. That'll be so horrible.
Well,
And I would
being
laugh, and I
HTC,
would
can
feel so
see-
bad about it.
I can see some kind of cell phone integration.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, Samsung, they have theirs. They have their little headset where take your phone, you can take like your Note 4, stick it in the headset, and you got a virtual reality machine.
True.
Think about this. Imagine if we go to PAX one day, the one year, right? And there's this party in this huge place. But in order to fully experience the party, you have to have the VR on. That way you can play, virtual games with other people. But I think that would be really cool to have it like either a city or a party or an area that if you have these on, you will be a part of another experience. But again,
Like that was a movie.
yeah, right. But like, how much is it going to cost people to do that? Is everyone going to have the same service? I mean, because there's already different phone providers, so I mean, it's a give and take thing.
Everything is going to be completely segregated. It's not going to be the same thing. You're going to have different levels of service, different varieties of service. Again, not just because of, because of who made the phones or who made the handset devices, who made your headset, where you're getting your service from. If you're walking around with it, it becomes a problem. So segregation will be huge. So
But competition never hurts,
Oh no,
You
competition.
can
is
push it to
beautiful. I
greater
love
heights
competition.
really fast.
Or
Or
to
win
be
it
a race to the
completely.
bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, it might be before its time.
Basically.
So let's move on to the Morpheus. I really want to talk about this one just because it is the PlayStation headset, the Sony headset. Their VR thing, and I haven't used this. Have you guys used this?
No, I don't think anybody's really had a chance to mess with it unless you are deep in the industry, deep in the game industry. You have not had a chance to touch it. I think Sony is the dog in the race that really has, I think, the greatest potential. One, because it has Sony backing it. Two, if they are focusing on it being so catered towards games, Sony is having an amazing run of things right now with the PlayStation 4. So if they can tie it into the PlayStation 4, and there's no way, I don't feel there's any way that they can make this be a product where you have to have it, play a game, you have to have it. But if they can make it where it's something, you really should consider checking this out, it can improve your experience in the game, then they'll differentiate themselves from the Oculus Rift and anything else because again, they've got a great library to back it up. They have so many people that are back this up. I would pick up a Morpheus. And I would pick up No Man's Sky, and you would never see me. I was gone for days.
Gosh, man, that game.
Every time I see No Man's Sky, I'm just hot for it. So give me a Morpheus and No Man's Sky at the same time, and I'll see y'all.
That does
in
look like
months.
a good game.
Yeah.
I will say, I'm iffy about the Morpheus because it is Sony, and I think it's gonna be like it'll be like Xbox and its Kinect where if you have this you can unlock these features. You should pick up this to pick up all the features. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not okay with that. And when the game comes out, I think it's gonna be too much programming to put into the game. It's gonna end up like Nintendo, where you see the same game come out on Xbox and PlayStation, but it will not come out on the Wii. Why? Because you have to do so much programming to work around their controller. It's
Yep.
I don't think it's gonna happen. It's like when the Kinect first came out for the Xbox, you barely saw any games. There was a few games, it's like 2 or 3 games that came out with it. After that, it dropped off so bad. Then it was just one of those things where, ooh, I can swipe my hand across the screen and move my menus around. Okay, I'm not spending that kind of money just so I can do that. I mean, it'll be interesting if they put it in anything else besides just the PlayStation. But right now, to me, just having it work only on the PlayStation or Sony's merchandise, I'm not okay with that. And when the Oculus Rift and other things are out there, because that works with anything I put in the computer. I'm not. I mean,
On the
it's too focused on this one thing, one group that I don't think it's gonna work.
virtual reality is focused on just one group.
Yeah.
It's just focused on anybody that would be interested in the virtual reality. So I don't think it's wrong for Sony to be focused on just one segment.
I think I just look at it as another Sony accessory. That's all I look at it as. We all
One expensive accessory.
a very expensive accessory. Now I'm gonna go back because you talked about how you're worried about how games are, the modes might change. I would not like it if it does. Hey, if you want the full game experience, and unlock different stuff in the game and do different, more gameplay. That should not hinder it. It should be the visual experience. Should also you should be immersed in your visual experience if you're using the Morpheus. Make it feel like you're there instead of just using controller alone. Now, mind you should still be able to play the game with the controller. But say if I have a Morpheus, this expensive behind headset VR, I should be like, oh man, this is like IMAX 3D in this junk. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I respect. But I don't think it's a good idea for publishers, developers, or whatever to kind of enforce that on the players, because that's just going to kind of do, like you said, what the Kinect did. Because there was a horror game for Xbox 360, I think it was, and I forgot what it was called. But in this horror game, it was Lost in Nightmares, I think. In this horror game, you had to have a Kinect to play it. It looked so cool. I wanted to play it, but I didn't have a Kinect at the time, so I was literally cut off from playing that game because I didn't have a Kinect, and I just didn't have any interest getting the Kinect. So stuff like that can actually keep people away from buying their games. So I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, again, it being a Sony product, I think it also limits it. It also limits what kind of games you can play. With PC, almost every game in some way, shape, or form gets ported to PC at some point. It also is a good thing because shooters are mostly on consoles a lot of the times. Are also on consoles. There's a lot of games, but I think it still limits it too much. And as David said with the programming, you're either going to have to make a game that's specifically for the Morpheus and does not play any other way, or you're going to have to make a game and then make a game again that has, basically you're going to almost make the game twice, because you have to compensate for the fact that virtual reality takes different graphics, it might respond differently to what you're doing. It's just almost making a brand new game, which thus makes things take longer times to make. Most game developers might not want to do that, and that means it's going to cost more, and this just brings up so many issues. That's why I'm kind of iffy. I think if it's going for PC, also as David said, if it goes for PC, you have more options. A lot of games, a lot of survival games like Minecraft and everything else are on PC, and they do exponentially more things on PC because there's mods. Actually, mods are a big impact on it, I think. Because if you don't have to necessarily mod the mods, as weird as that sounds, to the Oculus Rift, you can play Skyrim with the Oculus Rift with mods on that you can't do on PS4. It just opens up more options at being on PC, which is why I'm iffy about it, because you're just limited to certain games on the PlayStation. And then, as Vince said, am I going to, get a full experience? Am I not going to get a full experience? Or am I going to have to own it to play a game I really want to play?
Yeah. I think in the end, I think the Vive has a better chance than the Morpheus. Even though the Morpheus is a bigger name, or has a bigger name backing it. It's Sony, you know. But the Vive has much, much, much more you can do with it because Steam doesn't just come out with the games; it comes out with software to do a lot of different things. And I think the Vive is going to be better than the Morpheus, which is sad to me because you heard barely anything about Vive. It's like the to me in my mind that's like the small dog right now. So when that has more possibilities than something like this,
Need to see what happens. See what happens, and then we gotta find out who's gonna be the first person to make that Neo joke or something.
Now, I want to know if any of these VRs, you guys gotta let me know. Just I'm going into this blind. Like, will they have any, like smell, sense, like feel, any kind of system like that, or is it just completely 100% visual?
I guess we should go ahead and let people know we are going to be producing one of the first VR porn productions for these headsets.
He is. Not us.
Oh,
This guy is.
yeah, we are.
we're done here.
We're done here.
Getting the first.
I don't want to show my face with this guy. So I will say that Sony's got some serious balls right now. For one thing, they're in the picture on the wearable.com thing that you posted, Chris. This guy's wearing a Morpheus, has his headset on, his lanyard says Wii U right here on the side, right at the camera, boldface, boom, there it is. It's like you're taking on the top dog of peripherals right now, man.
Just letting you know, hey yo, Nintendo, we got your boys playing that stuff, man. What you gonna do about it?
It's like that is so douchey because it's very clear that they meant to do that. If you guys have seen the picture, that is clearly what they meant to do. Like,
got your crew
you turn your
wearing that
lanyard
stuff.
that much.
Yeah, we got your boys wearing that stuff. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Y'all watch out. Nintendo gonna make some new crazy shenanigans and gonna blur about
What's
the
gonna
watch.
happen is
They've already got something new coming out. The
it's-
NX or whatever it's called. It could be VR. It could be. I think it's a cell phone.
no,
I'm just gonna say
Nintendo.
right now,
Nintendo has learned their lesson off of VR.
For
Does
our-
anybody remember the Virtual Boy?
For all you know, this thing could be, if it's true, you walk in the room, you throw something on the floor, boom, VR room.
Oh shit.
that would be godlike.
That would
I
be
think
amazing if Nintendo
out
finally just went full retard on it and just said, you know what, screw it. Let's go all in because we are constantly lagging behind Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. We are constantly behind them. Let's just go full retard on this. Get the cube, throw it out there. You have a virtual reality room. You're playing Mario Brothers.
You are Mario. Jump, son.
I don't know. I see a lot of accidents happening, but
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of hands and ceiling fans. Bam. Ooh.
all right.
But back on subject. Let's talk about the Oculus Rift. Okay. This thing's been out for a while. Like it went to the development kit 1 last year, then the development kit 2 came out, and it's $350 is really cheap for virtual reality. It's really cheap compared to don't look at me like that. Don't look at me.
No. I have a quick question though.
Straight away, I want.
Are these games, because it's still, are they in 1080p to the full, or like fully rendered and
depends.
everything, or?
Some of the games are 1080, but you gotta realize Oculus started with indie games, so it's what the indie developers have done, and that I think is gonna beat out Morpheus alone, because Sony has been catering a little bit to the indie game crowd because they're the only ones that have balls enough to try something new and not care about the money. We all know that gaming companies will not come out with something new, crazy brand new, at least nowadays, really, it feels like, because they're scared they're going to lose some money. They're scared it's going to fail in some way. And I think since the Oculus is for a computer, or anything else you can plug it into, really, and it runs on so many different things, there's a lot of possibilities there for indie gamers, regular, any kind of game developers, like big names, anyone. Like, anyone can use this.
I could see that. I definitely could see that. And if it's so easily accessible to anyone and everyone, different kind of games, I can see that over everything else. It's just that presence will be everywhere. It'll be delicious. But man, I honestly think they're doing it right. Although it has been out for a while, I'm ready to see them make the official step towards things. It's very smart and very thoughtful that they're actually working with the indie developers versus, like you said, having HTC, big names behind your Sony. I mean, they're working from the opposite end of the spectrum to get to their goal. Versus everybody else is already, all these huge, big old master plans over here, and they're just working it up.
Yeah. And Oculus is more than just gaming, just because it has Facebook bought it, which is weird to me. I don't know why, Mark Zuckerberg, you're doing weird things, man.
Facebook.
I mean,
that's exactly what
Facebook on the face. I don't know.
I think they have a really good point, because they got money now. They have Facebook went in on them and bought them. It's like we can do anything we really want to right now, because we have that bit of money, so we need to have a little more time. We have a little more breathing room. We have the area where it's like, let's take some more chances. Let's see what we want to do. And being PC focused, for anybody that wants to be in games, seems to be the best way to go. Just for the simple fact, if you are PC focused, you're taking a risk when you're putting a game out, but at the same time, you're not like, oh my god, what do we do? Our entire company is sunk because this didn't work out. You are at a place where games are at a place now where Oculus Rift can come in and say, hey, see what you're doing. It's on Oculus Rift, and it's not a huge commitment for them. It's not a worry of, oh my god, if we back this and it fails, are we gonna be broke? It's like a lot of game companies now are pitching like, if this fails, how screwed are we? Are we like, we Sega screwed where we have to just go into software? Or is this just like a little drop in the bucket? Are we Activision level of screwed where if this didn't work, we're moving? So Oculus Rift is in a really good position where they can just say, we have money now. We can get our indie devs over here. We can be like, hey, we see you're making a game. We see you're having a hard time putting it out. Let's just. Yeah, exactly. It's just like
I think there's a lot of possibilities there. A lot of good things can happen. A lot of good things have already happened with the Oculus. So I think the biggest thing for the Oculus is that it's already out. It has that speed.
Mm-hmm.
People are already developing it. People already know the ways they're going to develop. I want to see them. It's going to take a little more developing, a lot more programming. But I'd like to see there be a specific software for the Oculus Rift that just, boom, you plug it in, it runs through the software, because developers are having problems right now where they can either treat the Oculus as another monitor,
mm-hmm.
or they can treat the Oculus as a peripheral all on its own. And, that gets really funky if you're trying to have the whole industry do this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have so many different programming kind of things going on. Just, I don't know, it could
have something like that already.
Yeah, well,
Steam.
Yeah. Well, as far as the Morpheus goes, I know there was another thing that was, I don't know, was it recent announced? You brought it up. What was it called? It was Windows HoloLens?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's up with this?
Lord.
I'm so excited for this. God.
Got like that rage direction the moment you said that. HoloLens.
Yeah, I'm ready. So the HoloLens, I found out about this last week. I was reading an article. Don't remember where it was. It's an app on my phone. But this, I don't know how Microsoft has done this, but somehow this is a standalone headset that seems to be able to have this lens over your eyes, right? And it throws out it's not really holograms, out in the actual room.
Mm-hmm.
Like in your field of vision, they have found out something to do with one of their processors, a Windows holographic processor or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's brand new. No one knows anything about it. They haven't released the specs or anything, but it can take your entire room, realize the angles, the shapes of everything, and put anything you can think of anywhere. That gets rid of the need for TVs, anything like that. You just be like, boom, hey, there's a TV on my wall. You can reach out, you can touch it, you can move it in your field of vision. And there's actually a video out. I don't remember where it was. God, look it up on YouTube. Y'all ain't stupid. Y'all know what YouTube is. So there's a first-person shooter where this guy picks up a gun, and whenever he shoots it or anything, like, it actually has effects on the gun It shows things breaking through the wall in your house or your office, anywhere you're at, and things are just coming in, and you're shooting them, man. They're shooting at you. It turns your house into a battlefield.
That's crazy.
Good God,
That
the
is so
possibilities
crazy.
are insane
That's
there.
right.
Because the one thing I like is that it's not a screen in front of your face. It's not gonna be all pixelated mess because it's throwing out boom. This is not pixels. Like when you have a projector, it's not pixels everywhere. It's just this one image. Bam. Which sure there's pixelated a little bit, but whatever.
All the possibilities for an accident happening in your house. That's what I'll be concerned with.
I'm sure now. We discussed this earlier. You said it. We need to get a warehouse. Next gen laser tag. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
HoloLens laser tag, where it'll look like you're in a jungle, and you can move around because it's kind of like a holodeck, but it's your eyes only.
Yeah. See, that's now this kind of creativity here, as the video I saw, is perfect. This is what we need. This is what I want. I want this. I want this. This is really cool. Imagine waking up and just putting these things on, and you have like an alarm clock, or you have a clock, or you have the news on. You get up. You could set you probably could set reminders on your door if you're wearing this before you leave. Like, don't forget this. There I go. So. I would actually think it's practical for everyday use and gaming. When it comes to gaming, I'll be very interested to see how they can do it online, and maybe even local co-op. That would be really, really, really cool. I could definitely see them getting into like some bowling games. I could see even boxing games, like dance games, fighting games. I could see a lot of potential there. Hopefully they'll reveal even more information and more games in the upcoming future. But I would out of all we spoke about so far, I would probably support this the most and try this one first and foremost because it has the hardcore. It has potential for hardcore gaming, but right now I'm gonna consider it casual gaming and everyday life uses. So
I want to see what indie developers do with it.
Yeah.
Okay, horror games in your own house.
No.
Something coming around the corner. That's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna bring something into the real world that I don't want. So
exactly.
I feel like it has the potential to be a lot larger than just gaming. I think Microsoft is positioning this so well. I think out of all of them, Oculus Rift is going to do really well, but Project Morpheus is just going to be that thing where it's like, oh yeah, it's great for games, but hey, I drew this up in CAD. So let's take a look at these parts. So this is going to be just amazing. So yeah, I think at this point, I think when HoloLens is the one to watch for me.
I definitely agree. Yeah. It has the most. I mean, Microsoft has already shown with the Xbox One that they're going to more towards casual, every game, every families and everything like that. And this just goes more towards that as well. I agree. I think this has a more wide range purpose. I can play games on it. I can do a billion other things on it. I'm not just limited to a game. I could play games. I could watch a movie on it. The interactive horror game. That would be amazing. There's just so many options. There's just so many options that you can do with it that why wouldn't you? I mean, even with probably a mid-range price tag, I'd still invest in it just because of even if it doesn't play a lot of games, the everyday activities itself to me sells it for me. Just with the everyday things you can do with it.
And it is coming out later this year.
We're gonna stick a little horror game in there on you.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Definitely.
They're gonna make a Hellraiser game, and you're gonna have it on, and you're not gonna pay any attention, and we're just gonna slip it right in on you.
Viruses for that thing are gonna be horror games instead of actual viruses. They're gonna be horror games.
Oh my god!
Just sheer possibilities, man.
That's
oh my
scary.
God, that's terrifying.
All right, so
watch Pinhead in my world.
All right, so it's about that time. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Thank you, MrLastHill, for joining us this week. Face Down on 9 and Nevec holding it down as well. We're here again. We'll see you guys next time. In the meantime, however, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave your thoughts, your comments, suggestions, feedback in the comments below, and we will see you next time, everybody. You have an awesome. That's right. Have an awesome day. See ya.
Yup.
Peace.
Laters.